Good afternoon, or good morning, depending where you are. My name is John Sheeley. Welcome to Pricing Consulting Services for the CARES Act. This is going to be a conversation mostly with my esteemed colleagues, Elina Linderman from someplace in Florida, and Barbara Richardson from an undisclosed location in Atlanta. Good morning, everybody, or afternoon. All right, let me give you some quick background. We can't offer CE to enrolled agents for this course, but we can offer it to CPAs through NASBA. So to get the copy of the certificate, we'll email it to you in about a week, provided that you are logged in for 50 minutes, and there'll be 3 polling questions. You need to answer 2 of those 3 polling questions. If you have any problems or don't eventually get the credit, please call or email our office, John or Nicole at Tax Practice Pro, either one. Today's agenda, which we've thrown together, we want to talk about some of the opportunities and maybe the problems with these consulting services related to the CARES Act that was passed last Friday. So it's a strange tax season. I want to talk about communication with your clients, the opportunity that might be here for our clients, what that opportunity might cost us in our practices, that pesky problem of getting paid. I know some of you don't have that. I do. Pricing out calls and meetings and the work, maybe how we're going to get some of this work delivered. And ethics may be related to this. And as both speakers said to me, I didn't think of that. Well, we'll talk about it a little bit. All right, Barbara, you wanted to say hello real quick?
Hey, everyone. I know many of you on. I'm Barbara Richardson, CPA in the Metro Atlanta area. And so we're here to talk about exactly what John said. I'm looking forward to having this conversation and answering any questions that I may be able to answer for you.
Or any that I might create accidentally.
That too.
Elina, good morning. Good afternoon.
Hello. Can you guys confirm that you can hear me okay? Just give me something back.
We hear you.
Great.
They're saying
no sound either. Somebody is complaining about frozen. I have no sound. I can't hear anything people are saying.
They have to press F5. Yeah, hopefully they're using Chrome. Keep going. Elina, start talking. I'll handle this.
All right. Well, hello, everybody. My name is Elina Linderman. I am an enrolled agent. I am located in Clearwater, Florida. Our governor just announced that we are going on lockdown just like New York. We are all working at home for the last 2 weeks. And I feel like my office was fully prepared to work from this. We're actually working 12-hour days because we're so slammed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the whole country is going to end up being on work from home shortly. And my name is John, but that's not important right now. My strangest tax season so far, the first April 1st, that my phone hasn't been ringing, hey, where's my tax return? Anyone else experiencing some weirdness? Barbara?
Actually, no, not regarding the where's my tax return. Yeah, I kind of lucked out on that. Many of my clients are very happy with the extension. So,
Elina, any pressure and stress right now? That's what I mean, by the way, Barbara. It's April 1st and no one's calling saying, where's my stuff?
Oh, yes, correct. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So my clients are somewhat differently. I have about 50% of Russian-Ukrainian population of my client base. So many of them are right now freaking out because maybe they're new in the country, they haven't filed. So we're getting a lot of requests for zero tax returns because of the clarifications that came out yesterday or the day before yesterday. We're getting a lot of crazy questions. I just came to the country yesterday, things like that. Can I still get my stimulus checks? So it's a crazy season for everybody.
Yeah, one word on filing those zero returns. First, they didn't want us doing that. They said that the IRS said they'd be able to automatically identify those folks. Then on the IRS website the other day, they said, oh, wait, we're going to have some little thing that's not a tax return for you to do. And if you're a Drake user, today you got an email from Drake that said, do not go file zero returns for people. So guidance is still coming on some of these things, I think.
True.
Yeah. All right. So I want to talk about client communication a little bit.
Yes.
So one of the things, and I meant to put a snippet up here the other day. So as soon as the stimulus, prior to this, as an example, prior to the stimulus legislation being approved, my phone was ringing off the hook and I was getting emails and texts. Hey, when's my check coming? Hey, I've got this scenario. Am I getting my check? Hey, all these usual issues. And my reply was, the law hasn't even passed yet, so I don't know how much you're getting, etc. But the moment it did pass, we were ready that Sunday night out with an email.
Yes.
And a text, because some of my clients like email, some of my clients like text, and everybody got identified. You guys experiencing this? I mean, so first, you experienced the same crazy people?
Yes.
Well, I could go ahead, Barbara. Sorry.
Yeah. For me, I'm running into an issue with having to help clients figure out if we need to hold off on the 2019 tax return so that they can get a full stimulus if the 2018 figures are used. That has been the biggest issue I'm running into with the stimulus. Not necessarily, hey, when am I getting it? But hey, do I need to file 2019 or should I just wait and let it be based off of 2018 or vice versa? So there's a little bit more analysis work that I'm doing on that end that I did not anticipate having to do. But that's where a lot of my clients fall kind of in that, okay, Barbara, do we file or do we not?
So I'm using that as an example that without proactively saying to people, here's what's going on, we encountered an onslaught of calls.
Yeah.
So Monday, Elina, was the phone ringing off the hook Monday?
Well, remember, I communicate with my clients a little differently. My phones were ringing off the hook because we went on YouTube on Sunday and we said, hey, guys, there's $10,000 for you. So everybody was calling about that. But about the stimulus checks, I've recorded about 3 videos that I just dropped on YouTube and gave everybody a link. And in my Facebook group also, I keep everybody informed that way.
And my point about the so go back, look at my next to last bullet point, preemptive communication, which is getting out there and telling people either by text, by email, or young people like video. It seems older people like video. I'm watching people do video to do things. If you look, I gave you a chart here. You see this problem with Zoom, right?
Yes.
Their stock doubled this year. Market's down, Zoom is up. So I want to share this link to, if you guys want to see what Elina is doing. You all speak Russian a little bit? Yeah, I didn't think so. But, the link I'm going to give you right now for everybody to look later is to see what Elina is doing. And I'm going to put it in the Q&A section too, I think.
I can explain on my fingers what Elina is doing, basically.
Yeah.
So I have my own Facebook group. It's all in Russian. Yeah, that's right. And basically, it started a couple of years ago when I just got mad of repeating the same thing for my clients. So I told them, everybody hold your hands and go to this group, and now we will inform you. And then that group grew. And I get a whole lot of clients from that group. John actually is a part of that group, not because he speaks Russian, but because sometimes I don't know the answer, so I ask him to kind of intervene. We now started Instagram project, so we're now on Instagram. My Facebook group, I have 16,000 users. My Instagram has 23,000 users, and that's in 6 months because Instagram is new for us. Instagram is young, people like it. So Instagram allows you to literally grab the phone and record a really quick 15-second video and just have it out there right away immediately. So I communicate with my clients via those methods. And now we're on YouTube. We just started it like a few months ago. So we're growing the channel. But what I do is I record the video. I sit down this morning, just the same location where I'm sitting today, recorded the video, and then I put it on all of my social media and said, everybody hold your hands and go watch the video.
Excellent work. So I want to, anyway, my point is, and I've been begging Elina to come on and do a marketing thing with me, and she tells me where to go about this. But you guys heard these numbers, right? She's got 16,000 Facebook in a group and 23,000 Instagram. And these folks are essentially clients, potential clients, but all people that meet you, whatever your current business criteria is, Elina?
Anybody with the pulse is my potential client. I don't care where they are. We're actually getting a whole bunch of clients from overseas because they started a business here in the United States. A lot of Amazon sellers, a lot of like virtual, whatever, office, just you name it. So we actually got a whole lot of clients from there. But I don't think today is the topic of how to get clients using Instagram.
It is not. We'll also talk about your webinars one of these days too. So, because my Russian just isn't good enough to keep up, but I get the idea. So anyway, I want to talk about what the opportunity is. So the opportunity that I think I'm seeing, and it's actually solving a problem. The problem is a lot of people are calling about paycheck protection loans, the SBA 7A loan. And if they're not, they probably should be.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, no, yes. You
yes, unless you've reached out to them first, which is
well.
Yeah.
So to be clear, I think all of our clients that are in business should apply for an SBA 7A loan, at least to the amount that would be forgivable. Yes,
yes.
Agreed. All right. So I think Robert D is online, and he is a person who did not wait until Christmas Day to open his presents as a kid. So there is an Excel spreadsheet in the handout section that came from Axiom Consulting, and it's outside their firewall. So I've included it, and I shared it inside a group on Facebook, and we were all talking about it last night. And the first response from people was, I was going to make this, but life got in the way. So this spreadsheet does a pretty good job at helping you figure out how much your client should qualify for that's forgivable. And I think that that's something we need to be looking at. That's not the point of today's conversation, but it's there. And someone just said they can't find it. If you click on the handout section, there are 3 PDFs and the Axiom paycheck calculation. All right. So if you're going to move forward with helping people do this calculation, and if you do not know what we're talking about, please, there's plenty of free CARES Act videos out there, webinars. You need to get on one and understand. If you're a Facebook person, you can join. I have a COVID-19 Tax Pros Best Practices group. Just type in COVID-19 and tax. It should come up. If you're a tax professional, I'll let you in. We have lots of good stuff, lots of links already there. All right, so what's the opportunity? We have clients that need help. So are either of you geared up to facilitate a whole bunch of extra work right now?
No.
Alina's shaking her head, yes.
Yes, it's extra work. So I basically, like I told you, first I put out the video on Sunday. Then I told my team, everybody hop on Zoom, and we're going to talk about it. So I showed them how the application works. And Monday we were already ready to go for those who want to apply, because on Sunday there was still different type of application, if you recall. Yep. And on Monday they actually made changes overnight. So things are changing overnight.
Actually, if you look, I posted as of this morning, it's version 3.
Oh, really?
Of the application for a law that was passed on Friday. Right? Because they have to get, normally it wouldn't go this quickly. They have to get it up as quickly as possible. People are looking for it. The banks are supposed to start accepting these applications Friday. Right? So, but back to our question about being ready for work. Elina, what are you doing? Opportunity cost. What are you doing with work, tax work you should be doing now?
So I've split up my team, basically. You do this, you do that. I rearrange who's responsible for what. And I told everybody, you guys are lucky. You have your job and you all are getting overtime pay right now. So buckle up and let's get this done.
So are you deferring tax work, or you're getting all of it done by making everyone work more?
So Yes and no. Those are very difficult tax returns that can wait. We're deferring them. Those that are easy and can be done in 15, 20 minutes, because they need to get them in, we're getting them done. I'm actually taking them all because I can do them with the eyes closed, and I'm just going like this, and then everybody else focusing on other things.
I'm sure you meant not quite that fast because of all the due diligence that's involved, but I won't critique.
I know my clients well. I have them on Facebook. So due diligence on Facebook all year round.
All right. So the first concern is, are we going to lose clients, or we go, by not talking to them, by deferring them, by not having answers? It sounds like, Elina, you're talking to everyone. Some are deferring, some are not.
Look, everybody is very understanding, John. And
Okay.
why should we lose clients? I tell them how sad I feel for them. I tell them I apologize. I explain that I'm working from home in work conditions, how difficult it is. I sympathize. We gained clients. We haven't lost clients because some firms shut the doors down and they were not prepared to do things electronically like we were, because we've been doing it for years already. So we are gaining clients for that reason.
So some folks are commenting in the chat section and the Q&A section that they can't defer, that there are people that need returns, need to get things done for one reason or another, or need the refund. So part of the conversation here is about losing folks. So Barbara, are you seeing that? Are you seeing that I have to do this or that? Or is most people letting you defer work?
Yes, most people, my practice might be set up a little different. Just to give a background, I mostly have small business clients at this point. So I don't have a lot of one-off individual tax returns to prepare. So I'm just a little bit different in that way. But to Elina's point, yes, my clients have been very understanding. We have chosen, well, we being I, have chosen to prioritize things related to the CARES Act. And we do have a few clients for whom we need to get those returns out. And I just kind of carve out a few hours right now. I'm carving out a few hours a week to just focus on tax returns. But this week in particular, I'm more so just all in on the CARES Act stuff. And we haven't lost any clients. In fact, I had a client, I was looking away, just sending me a message now that he had 2 other business owners in his field that he wants to send my way. So I think we're going to gain clients in this situation. I've been very proactive in communicating with my clients. I've literally haven't had one client for the most part reach out to me first, because initially I just sent out correspondence and then I've been following that up with phone calls. So I think this is a great opportunity if you have the capacity and can plan it out where you won't be losing clients. You'll be gaining, if anything.
Well, all right. So we're going to move this along a little bit, but my point was that, are we in a position where we've got a choke point of work with all the April 15 work? Either they need refunds, they need other things, and we have all this other work and opportunity coming in. And I wanted to talk about opportunity cost a little bit. Are we, as we segue into pricing? But let me put up a polling question. You have to answer 2 of these 3 questions. You don't need to get them right, but you do need. We'd like you to, but you don't need to. But please answer them. So I'll give you a softball. What is your current designation? 7 of 9. What's your designation? Go ahead. You guys can talk while the order polls up.
Yeah, but John, that's my point. I think last I saw, maybe there was only one state that didn't extend the filing deadline. And, everyone's practice is made up differently. But, do we really have those clients, that are really that not understanding that they can't, wait a week or 2 or a day or 2 for their tax return? I'm pretty sure they exist, but I'm saying enough to where someone's practice is going to suffer. I'd be interested to know from many of the participants here if they have that type of clientele.
I should have posted that up as a question, right? And I did not. My other concern too is that in addition to this choke point of work, is our number one competitor today is do it yourself, the internet. Do you lose not necessarily tax clients? Do you lose some of these other clients because you weren't available, you weren't urgently here with them today? I'm going to give this just another second here, and we're going to close it out.
looking at the comments, a lot of people are saying they're gaining clients. That would be my expectation here.
Yep. Well, that would be mine too. Again, but we're not. I did think there'd be a choke point here. A couple of people have said there is, but
Got it.
awesome. I'm not. I'm not going to.
Got it.
Yeah. So
Guys, let's be honest. Those people who haven't filed, this is more complicated tax returns for the most part. People who get in large refunds, they already filed in the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
So this is people who waited until April. It's no longer any kind of urgency. So you just nicely explain to them, guys, we're working with you. We're here for you. We love you very much. Give us one piece of paper, ask them a question. Give them another piece of paper, ask another question, and then they feel like you're working on them, but you're really not.
Yeah.
Okay, so some preemptive communication, I guess, is helpful. Someone made a comment, New Jersey is not extended. Check
right.
New Jersey has extended to July 15th. Taking the new era, right? You have the president and the Treasury Secretary announcing on Twitter. The New Jersey governor announced on Twitter that he has extended it to July 15th. They passed the legislation, and he signed it, and he announced it on Twitter. Welcome to the 21st century, I guess. Wow. Yeah. Okay. So I want to talk about, and I think you guys are going to tell me this doesn't matter so much, but I wanted to talk about the payment conversation. So many of us encounter the what I call the all-you-can-eat buffet. They walk into your office and they, for some reason, think you have a steam table and a kitchen, right? They think that they paid a fee, they're going to get everything for that same one fee. Lena, I can't get you on the telephone without giving someone a credit card. I had to explain to her who I was twice. So I know about calling you, but so first we have what I call the 990 misconception, and that's that. Are any of you reporting your businesses on a Form 990? It's a joke. The answer is no, because we're in business to make money. And that's why we can talk a little bit here about making money. We need to get compensated. I don't know that either of you have a difficult time having the conversation, but Barbara, how does I'm thinking you need to segment clients, the cold call guy versus my monthly retainer A-list guy.
Yes.
Okay. So your A-list guy calls up and says, what are we going to do? That's an easy conversation, right? They pay, they've been with you for years, you do the accounting.
Yes.
How about my tax return only guy who wants help and doesn't have any accounting work done?
Okay. So for my tax return only clients who need help, that is a paid consultation just to get the conversation started. Yeah, so that's how we start with them, is a paid consultation.
A flat fee or what?
Yes, a flat fee flat fee. And okay. I tell them book it for an hour, but it's probably going to be a 30-minute conversation maybe, because at that point it really is just kind of clearing the fog for them, giving them a little clarity about what some of the choices are. And either they have enough information to move forward on their own, or they need us for additional assistance. At that point, that is another paid service. If we're going to help them work through the analysis of looking at the numbers under which program is going to benefit you most. But yes, that can be a two service situation there, but it definitely starts with a flat fee paid consultation.
You have automated scheduling. They go to the website, schedule themselves.
Yes.
And do you get a fee when it's a new client like that? Do you get the fee right then and there?
Yes. So once they schedule, then I send them out an engagement letter with the link to pay. And then they go ahead and pay.
All right. So you're not using Acuity with the paywall where they have to, when they schedule, they have to pay?
I'm fairly new to Acuity, and I just learned today that I could set that up. But I need to do that because my process has been, hey, here's the engagement letter, which is sent electronically, and in it, there's a link that takes you right to my website to pay. But right. Yeah, I just learned that I can set it up to where they can't even schedule until they pay. So that would be even more efficient.
So someone has asked why a flat fee. So speaking for me, I like a flat fee because it, for both me and the client, it sets the expectation that they're not going to get billed for 75 minutes and that it's not really negotiable. Plus, yeah.
And for me, it's a flat fee because it's pretty much a pretty routine thing. Like I already know my talking points in this consultation. I guide the consultation, not the client. So if they're coming in because they hearing all of these things about this act, they don't really know what to do. They don't really know where to begin. I already know what we're going to talk about. So it's not a conversation that's going to vary much from one client to the next. It's a high level cares discussion. So I can feel very confident that I can do that in significantly less than an hour. So for that, I could do a flat fee.
Elina, what do you think? How are you billing this? How are you getting paid? When are you
So our VIP clients, per se, we called them ourselves on Monday and we said, this is what's out there. We're going to do it free of charge for you because we charge them quite a lot for bookkeeping and payroll as it is. So I feel it just gives us more value. Everybody else pays. My staff got the following instructions from you. When people call, hello, how are you doing? Have you seen Elina's video? Yes or no? No, go see Elina's video, call us back. Now you called us back when you saw Elina's video. Are you ready to pay? Yes or no? And literally, this is where you end the conversation. Are you ready to pay? And if they're not, thank you, have a nice day, click. If they are, this is the flat fee. Pay now. When they pay us, we send them an application, our version in Russian, because half of them can't understand. Inside of that application, what they sign, there is a verbiage that Elina added. This is non-refundable fee. I agree to everything. If I mess up and give you the wrong information, Elina and her club is not responsible for anything. And basically, sign here.
Yeah, a whole nother conversation on engagement letters. Someone else even asked about COVID-19 issues. I agree that it needs to be changed, that we need to make changes for engagement letters rolling forward, but that's beyond today. Someone asked about, so I want to talk about two other groups. Elina, what about what someone referred to as the nickel and dime group here? And that's, now we all have those clients, and that's okay, but the guy who calls up and says, it's a quick question, or says, why so much? I mean, they can just move along.
I'm very sorry. Today, we're operating under the work conditions. We do not have time to answer quick questions. Elina had recorded free video for you. If you find it sufficient, please go there. Everybody else must pay. Are you paying today or not? What's your credit card number? Thank you. Goodbye.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And even though I don't have clients on my, you can't book anyway, even though I don't have my pay link embedded in my calendar, if you don't go ahead and pay when I send that engagement letter, then your appointment is not honored and I go out and I cancel it.
Okay, cool. I agree with that too. All right. So I want to talk about referrals from the right person. I guess the same thing, Elina. We're going to politely ask for them, but you have to pay. And Barbara, you have to pay. What about walk-ins, the third-party people that are an unknown with their stuff? Obviously, you're going to do that initial call, Barbara, but what do you do with the guy who says...
What walk-ins? Doors are closed.
No, come on. Don't pick on my English. I'm new.
What do you mean?
Even my English is no good looking. I still understand walk-ins.
You say walk-in. What are we talking about?
When I say walk-ins, they're not your client, and out of the blue, they call you up and say, hey, I need your help.
Yes.
And yeah, I get that too. But I mean, this is the person who starts with, I don't even have 19 done, much less 20.
Yeah.
We need to go from start on the bookkeeping. Yeah. What do you do? I mean, you're still going to try and work these people in and make them happen? Or is it law of large numbers to spend the time that I could spend on 5 or 6 other people with one person? Are we doing that level of triage here, or what are we doing? Especially if it's a new client.
Are we talking about bookkeeping? Get the retainer first.
Absolutely.
And then connect them to QuickBooks and let them warm up. While they're warming up and providing documentation, it'll be 3 months from now, and you'll catch up.
Elina is a student of Bob McKenzie, who always says, unless it's a pro bono job, get the check first.
Absolutely. John, are you talking about a new client who's coming in needing these services and also needing help with, seeing what they qualify for under CARES?
The guy who's not right, the guy who comes in for help with, let's say, a Paycheck Protection Program loan.
Yes.
They're new to you, not a referral.
Yes.
And they haven't even done 19. They're not a disaster, but they're barely compliant, right? They're ahead of the deadline, but they've got literally the shoebox.
Yeah.
Are we giving up helping 5 or 6 other people to help this person?
No, I would not. I have capacity to help that person because I have dedicated bookkeeping staff who could take that on. So I would still be able to assist that person. And hypothetically, I was not able to. We were just flooded with work and there was just no way possible. Then I'd find one of you guys to refer to.
What if you're super small? So a lot of our participants, I think, are super small. They are themselves and an assistant.
Yeah.
What, I mean, it's hard to say no, but sometimes what?
Sometimes you have to. And guys, we have a really great community. Refer to someone you know. And I mean, if you want a referral fee from that person, then you have that conversation with another pro. But don't be afraid to refer the work out to someone else you trust if that person is willing to do that. If the potential client is willing for you to hand them off to a referral. That's much better than over-promising and under-delivering.
Yeah. And or ticking off your 5 or 6 other people to appease that person. But he's not on the webinar, but my friend Henry Grabkowitz always says when people want to jump the line, you have to charge more, not so much to put the cash in your pocket, but at some point you've got to make up for lost clients or people that you have to appease with a small discount because you couldn't service them as quickly.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I want to throw up another polling question while we're here, if that's okay. I plan to assist my clients with planning and filing for various programs under the CARES Act. That's a yay, a nay, or an undecided.
Besides nurses, we are one of the few people who are slammed with work right now. So we should do everything possible. Look at it as an opportunity. Grow your business.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Someone asked a question I'm trying to find, but I wanted to answer. But keep going. I'm looking for
some of them are people like Fred, just yeah.
Oh, I think it was Ira. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name, Ira Williams. She asked if we're already using flat fee pricing, value pricing. How do we charge for help with the CARE Act? This is where I'm going to say, go back to your engagement letter. If you establish one initially for this particular client, I'm assuming you're asking about clients that you're getting ongoing fees from. This is, I think everyone understands this is way outside of the scope of anything that we are currently engaged to do with our clients. Even if it requires us to use some of the information that we are already dealing with, like the financials of the tax return, you just be upfront about it and you let them know, hey, this is outside of the scope, X, Y, Z. You know how to talk to your clients and what they need, to hear from you in order to be comfortable. But I definitely don't see this as a nickel and diming. This is so significantly outside of our scope that you should absolutely have no trouble charging for this above and beyond your existing fees. Unless it's your A-star super clients. There are some clients I have that probably won't charge just because they're just that great.
So taking a page from Elina, I called my 5 top clients to discuss the Paycheck Protection Program, and they said, I didn't think there was anything in there for me. These are people with businesses that are above $200,000 in income, were smart enough to realize they're not getting a stimulus payment, and they're like, I can't believe there's something in there for me. And we do all their other work. So what's the time to do that 2-page SBA form and print out other stuff we already do? A couple of them, I think we need to chase down the rest of their March accounting, but that's it. So you're right. Now, conversely, with value pricing, if it's an existing client where you're doing all the work, I think that's where you're going to make the most money because you've already got everything you need.
Yeah.
That proper English you are already in possession of everything you need because you do the accounting, you do the payroll, you do the tax return. And those are the guys, flat fee, boom. Yeah, Fred says it here in the thing, VIP fees.
Yeah. VIP fees, rush fees, all of the fees. Everything's on the table.
Yep.
There was a comment from somebody, I was reading the comments that saying, danger, you should not be charging a fee. As a matter of fact, when you fill out the application, at the end, there's a section. Did somebody help you assist with the application, with the information, and how much were you charged? So I know we're not supposed to talk about what our specific fees are. So just be sure that you're charging reasonable fees, whatever the standard amount is for your type of expertise in your specific area, and you will be fine.
Yes.
I agree. And no gouging, and probably don't do it as a percentage of the loan.
Right.
Because that's where you start to get in trouble, especially if you're not originating the loan. You have state licensing issues, but we're not helping. We're helping people in our position as accountants. One interesting thing too, beyond the scope today, but I was thinking about 7216 issues, because in theory, I'm not preparing a tax return by helping you fill out an SBA loan, but I didn't mark it. I guess if I market it, it's one thing, but if I'm just helping you, I'm probably okay. What do you think? 7216, right? I'm using tax return data.
Yeah.
Hadn't thought it through until today.
John, I'm handling it differently. Remember, I told you. So we have basically copied the application into Russian, and we emailed them that application. I have this Panda doc. It's basically like a fillable format. And in there, I have everything built up already. I have payment for my services already built up inside. They can't click submit until they pay me. And I have a signature part where they're agreeing for, you know, what we discussed before. So basically, they are providing information to me. I might look at some of the information, say, are you sure about this? But they are the ones who give me the information.
Got it. All right.
Yeah.
And you're documenting it, which I like too. So we kind of talked a little bit. We can't talk about specific pricing, but we talked about some of the things you guys are doing. I think we already hit on putting that, if there's an initial call or a sales call, if you will, plugging that into your total cost somehow. And a couple of the people on the in the Q&A have said about turning things off to staff, and we've talked about that too. So can you automate some of this stuff into email templates? Elina talked about Panda Docs, which helps you automate some things. Anything that you can do once and use multiple times, I think, is a home run, whether it's a Word document or a online tool like you're talking about. So speaking of which, I gave you in the handout section, we didn't create it, but it's a great tool. Axiom Strategic Partners put together a paycheck protection program calculator. And if you it's garbage in, garbage out, but if you put in the right numbers or good numbers, I redid my calculation in it last night before I decided to include this, and it did it correctly. There's only one bug in it that I see, and the bug is if you qualify for forgiveness on more than you qualify to borrow, it does a negative amortization loan, which doesn't count. So otherwise, it's a pretty good tool, and I think it makes for a neat handout. Again, especially if you're charging folks to do some of this work, you can give them a deliverable, which is kind of cool.
So Robin Remet asked a couple of questions. If we have some time, I'd like to take
Go.
Okay. So the first question was, would you do the work contingent upon the client actually obtaining the loans for a percentage? No. With the exception, I know there's some new guidance out with the PPP loans, and if we're designated as an agent, we get a percentage of the loan, and we're not technically allowed to charge outside of that. I'm excluding that part of the conversation for now. Remember, in the beginning, I do a consultation. That's just a discussion, so that's going to be my flat fee. If the client doesn't have enough information to move forward on their own and they need further assistance from me, they're like, okay, I understand. I have all these options, but I don't know which one is best for me. And I have to then go back and do an analysis and do the calculation, take their fact pattern, run it through the various programs under the CARES Act. Then that is a separate fee, because now I'm actually doing some analysis work for you and helping you quantify your decision regarding which program you should apply under. I hope that answers your question. Your second question was, are you going to go through the different loans? Yes, that's a second appointment after the consultation if the client feels like they need it. So then that's when I will go through the different loans to quantify what the results would look like for them, if that makes sense. I think I got all your questions. Okay, let me know if you have any other questions I can clarify on how I do things regarding that.
Awesome. All right. So some of the ethical issues, just quickly, can we necessarily call or email a client? I mean, I think you can. You have the CAN Spam Act issues, but that's the law that says I can't randomly email people, which is probably how some of you found out about this webinar, but that's a whole nother, my random emails. But if they're your clients and they've subscribed to the email or opted in, you're probably okay. I have lots of conversations with people on the phones, even including some of our payroll clients that we don't do the tax work for. Hey, do you know about I got an error. It's not Paychecks that way. It's Paycheck Protection Program. And we're getting a lot of no's. So this could also be an interesting way to win over business too, because if we're first to tell them, hey, there's something in here for you, let me know how I can help, right? Or here's a spreadsheet showing your March 1st, 2019 to February 28th, 2020 payroll for use in your Paycheck Protection Program submission. Let me know how else we can help. Boy, that's that may be a powerful incentive for folks to think about switching over to you for their other work. Okay.
John, do you suggest sole proprietors apply for the loans?
I suggest I think everybody should apply for it.
Yeah.
I mean, Elina, everybody, right? Is there any reason not for everybody not to apply?
Great terms. Why not? Not only that, a lot of these people, they need it. They're not accountants. Their businesses are shut down, but they still have to pay rent. I literally talked to so many people today in that position,
So, I mean, my advice, based on what we know today, would be that everybody that's eligible should apply for at least the minimum they should apply for is the maximum forgivable loan they can have.
Yes.
Don't forget that some people have multiple companies, or some people could be sole proprietor and also have another company.
Or they might have a tax practice. They might have a tax practice and a CE provider. You're right.
My husband, he's got multiple streams of revenue, and he is self-employed when he runs his Airbnb, but then he's got long-term rentals that's in his S-Corp.
Mm-hmm.
Who let him put real estate in an S-Corp? That's another conversation.
That's always fun.
Yep.
And not in New York, John.
Yeah, all right. All right. Are there other, I want to look at the questions we have. It's funny, we had 700 people sign up for this, which I thought was crazy. But there are so many free things and even low-cost things out there right now. So does that, Sue Ann's question was just answered about yes. Why were you saying QuickBooks won't work, Elina? What was that in answer to?
It was a question about how I use PandaDoc. You have to, in order to make them pay before they submit, you have to connect it to Stripe. Stripe would be the best program to interact it with. QuickBooks, you can't connect it to QuickBooks, so unfortunately, it will not work.
You know what, though? Doesn't it take APIs? Like, I don't use Stripe. I have a Stripe account, but I don't use it for most of my credit cards, and I don't use QuickBooks. We use a third party so we can integrate it into the website. So I think if you have that, I think PandaDocs will take it if you have an API.
I don't know, John, because we usually use Square, but I had to get Stripe for that specific application.
So there's a question: should a short-term sole proprietor that also has 2 rentals apply separately for each? You know, I'm not super clear on the rules with rentals. Elina, what do you think? Are rental?
I don't know if it goes on one Schedule C, then it's just one type of business. If it was 2 different types of businesses and 2 Schedule Cs, then I can see being able to back it up. But with just one, I would just say one.
I was going to say, I don't know that a Schedule E rental can apply, but if you have short-term rentals, you know, the less than 7-day average rental period, and you're doing a Schedule C, I would think that you can apply.
Right, Kevin is correct. One application for each EIN, SSN, but
Okay.
I recommend all of my sole proprietors have their own EIN in addition to their SSN.
Agreed. Well, I don't want people giving out the social security. We tell people that are just doing like freelance graphic art under their own name. I tell them, get an FEIN. Don't give anybody your social security number. So
Right.
yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
That was a good question, and I'm getting bombarded with that. So I'm a sole proprietor. I work at home. Can I use this forgivable portion of the loan to pay my mortgage or to pay my utilities? I've been telling everybody no.
Right. You know, if you really peel back the onion on some of this, some of these, maybe it was Tony Nitty, I don't remember. Somebody was saying, to be really clear, open a separate bank account, put the paycheck protection money in there, and only write out checks that are for qualifying amounts. And I'm thinking, so if somebody gets a $10,000 loan, are they really going to go to that trouble or not? But it's a good idea.
I think they should.
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
I do.
Yeah, we're getting a whole bunch of people. I love it when women agree with me. Yes, separate bank account. Yes, separate bank account.
I mean, especially if they don't have a good bookkeeping system. Like if they're already just, like no.
Okay. So anyway, this was not today about really doing a 7A, the details of doing a 7A loan. Maybe we should all get that smart and offer that. The idea here was to talk about integrating this into your business and some of the thinking that folks have. And really, the 3 of us have 3 similar but yet different enough practices to have this conversation. And I think it was pretty cool. I want to do one more poll, and I think we've run the 50 minutes, and then maybe everybody will give me final thoughts, and then we'll stay on and answer all the questions. That's fine with me too. So last question I launched, which is, what do you think of this webinar? Oh, I can't believe people are really answering. It was a good thing Facebook worked. Oh, I'm getting a lot of those. Oh.
You know, I think the only other thing that needs to be mentioned is that we need to be clear with clients. And I've been very honest and upfront, but I am pretty much operating blind.
Yeah.
There's not enough information out there for me to be able to sit down with my highlighter, study the way I want to study, and give clear answers. Because a lot of times I'm answering, I don't know. And a lot of times I'm saying, go ahead and apply, we'll figure it out later. But I'm honest about it because it's a weird time. That's all I have to say.
Yeah.
Everything is weird right now, isn't it? So, Barbara, you have any closing thoughts?
I'm working from home and I have palm trees in my background. How weird is that?
Yeah. No, I mean, I definitely agree with many here that it went by really fast. Ken says it was a bit chaotic. Hey, we're in chaotic times right now. But yeah, so thanks everyone for attending.
All right. Let's take a look at some of the questions that are coming in. Okay, in the Q&A chart, in the beginning you mentioned the 7A loan. Are the EIDL and the PPP loans falling under 7A? No, the EIDL is under 7B.
Mhm.
Yeah, and the so the PPP, so the Small Business Administration is taking, or Congress, whoever did this, is taking what was the existing 7A loan, and they're morphing that into a Paycheck Protection Program loan. So that way they've already got the platform up and running. They don't have to start from zero, although they've done 3 versions of the application. The Economic Development EIDL loan, economic injury, falls under 7B and requires underwriting. The 7B loan, though, comes with a $10,000 I need it now provision, an immediate grant. So we'll see if those checks start showing up in people's bank accounts this week, because they do ask you for that information when you apply. Someone is asking if accountants and lawyers can be a lender's agent and be compensated for doing the work, and who is our loyalty to. I don't know that you can do that. I do know, as Elina pointed out, that you must disclose that in fact you did that. But I don't know, because there is an issue of who your loyalty, who your duty is to. But if you look at what the payments are, the payment is like 1% on small loans under $350,000. So I don't know that I would want to get paid $100 for doing a 7A Paycheck Protection loan, or whatever the 1% would be. If someone has a Schedule E rental and an LLC, should they file a loan? I don't know what that means. Does that mean file as the LLC or file as the E? I think you don't look at what the tax rules are. If the legal entity is a limited liability company and it owns the property, the LLC should file.
Agree.
Yes? No?
Has anybody gotten a loan? I haven't yet. I applied on Monday, and my husband did too, first thing in the morning. But
what,
they
7A?
supposedly 3 days after.
7A or 7B? You did an EIDL or a Paycheck Protection?
I did the one with the $10,000 up front.
Okay. Yeah, so I did that Sunday night. I haven't seen any money yet. I don't know anybody that's seen any money. There was a bad rumor on Facebook in another group that in fact they stopped. If your number is higher than 2,000, they've deleted your application because they're overwhelmed. I can't believe that's true, but I heard that from a somewhat reliable source.
Nobody knows anything really in these days.
Right.
Well, I mean, I was surprised. I know Chase, a couple of things though on the 7A. So Chase Bank sent out emails to their existing business clients, but you have to have a checking account there, and you have to have been their business client on February 15th, or they won't do a loan for you.
Right.
U.S. Bank has a portal up. They're just collecting information. I have business credit cards with Bank of America. They sent me a email. Same thing, though. They're not ready to start. Other guidance I've seen says they have to start taking applications April 3rd, which is Friday. So hopefully the program is up and running at that point. Jeff applied last Saturday. I think it's 3 business. Jeff, you didn't get $10,000, did you? Can you apply the $10,000, the entire application at once? So, Katie, it's a short app, the 7B, and you check a box whether you want the $10,000 or not. And I assume they're going to ask for more information. Elina left us. I figure they're going to ask for more information. Latoya wants to know if her errors and omissions cover these additional services. I would email my E&O provider.
Yes.
And I would, as we know, most claims are tax related and have no engagement letter. So get yourself an engagement letter. I think Kevin is kidding about checking his bank every hour for his $10,000, but I would be checking every day.
That was funny.
Yeah, I'd be checking every day for it. Oh, and that's funny. Somebody said magical above that, and then Kevin replied. So that's funny. All right. You have to know Kevin is an amateur magician, so it's funny. Are there any new questions? Anything we haven't covered? I mean, some of this, the 7A, 7B is kind of my opinion. We don't have a sample engagement letter, and I'm not a fan of sharing those. What if you don't have employees? I believe you're eligible for 7A even if you don't have employees as a contractor or a 1099 freelancer. I believe you won't be in the initial application. I think they're going to start taking those applications April 10th is something that I read. So, Jerry says, for those of us virtual with low expenses, does it make sense? Well, again, borrowing the maximum amount that I could get forgiven is something I would do. Is there anything we can do to coordinate 7A and 7B? I don't know what coordinate means necessarily. You want to explain? Should I reapply if I didn't include my contractor's payroll? I don't. Do we know about that yet, Barbara? Is there a way to amend that application? Is that a 7A or 7B? Someone's asking.
Yeah, you asked. Well, for the 7B, I don't see that there's a way to go in and amend it. I don't even see where you can take your confirmation number and go back and find your original submission. So I'm not sure about that.
Someone claims, the famous someone, that they called, spent an hour and a half on the phone with the SBA because I guess they must have been looking to find out where that money was. I don't know. And that's the person that was told they deleted all the applications. So I'm sticking in the sticky note at the top of the chat page the name of the Facebook group if you want to join. Oh, did I not?
I've posted it a few times in the chat, but that might be a good idea as well.
Elina, you have anything to say?
Make money.
Yeah, yes. Money.
Make money.
Look, it took you many, many years to get where you are. You spend a lot of time studying, so do not steal, but even in a hard time, you should be doing stuff for free. Doctors and nurses right now are not working free of charge. You shouldn't be working free of charge also.
Correct. Make money. Jeff, did you get your disaster?
Make money. I keep telling everybody, my employees want to be paid. I have also expenses.
Yeah, me too, right? Well, we're not running a charity. Always the problem. Okay, anyone have anything else, ladies? No? I want to thank both of you for taking an hour out of your day to tolerate me. So I appreciate it. And I know that the 335 folks that have stayed on here till the end appreciate it.
Thank you.
So,
thank you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you all. And Kimberly Ann, I think you're in that group, dear. If not, we're friends on Facebook. I'll add you. All right, everybody. Look, guys, thank you again for helping me out. And everybody, stay safe, stay healthy.
Yep, we're going to make it through this.
Be healthy, everyone.
All right. Good day to all.